Hello, hello. Such a pleasure being here, dear sister. Rhonda, welcome. Thank you for co-facilitating this beautiful workshop with me. From the heart, we're giving this from the love that we have for ourselves and for the love that we want of others to really experience within and outside as well. So thank you everyone who is here. Thank you for being in this workshop from heartbreak to self-love.
Hey.
So excited from this experience. So exciting. Oh, yes. So Sister Rhonda, would you like to start with a little introduction?
Oh, I'm feeling so much energetic movement within my own heart space, just listening to you speak and sitting here quietly, keeping myself contained when all I feel like doing is just
Oh,
you.
I can also
Yeah, I'm very, very excited and joyful to be in this space with you and the opportunity of holding space for sisters. It's such a special, sacred space that I have grown to appreciate. I did not know what magic there was until I discovered the safety of sisterhood, true sisterhood. You. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
So, should we start off with introductions about who we are or why we're here before
Yes,
we invite others to do the same?
yes, please.
Okay. Well, I kind of was expecting your lead, if you don't mind, my dear.
Oh, well, if you want, yeah, I can start with this. So, well, I am Ken as you, the founder of the Wellbeing Project. I may have a lot of labels for different certifications, but at this point, I call myself a divorce healing coach, really helping women to heal themselves so they can then learn to love themselves and live in authenticity. So that's my aim, to really support women in this healing path, and yeah, to bring back the light and the love in this planet, in this Mama Gaia. We need it, and we need it from the core. And I'm really happy that we do it in sisterhood, because as you said, Rhonda, it changes. The energy is different. The way of us perceiving, the way of us giving an opening is different when we are in sisterhood, because we have more things in common that we actually think. And when we open ourselves to be present and here and vulnerable and open, the way of healing ourselves, it gets exponential. So yeah, thank you for being here.
And thank you. My name's Rhonda Rabbit, and like Kenna, I could go through my accolades of certifications, but for me, my journey has really been all about wholeness and authenticity. Originally, as an administrator in education, that was my mission for each child in the classroom. And so in my pursuit to embody that which I want to create in schools, have become a lifestyle artist with the Human Garage, temple body artist, erotic blueprint coach, and then a shamanic sound energy space holder. And I list those four in particular because those are the parts that encompass all of me: body, heart, mind, and spirit. Yet the point I want to connect to with you specifically is with sisterhood. I found the capacity to be vulnerable, authentically vulnerable, knowing that I was in a safe space and there would be no judgment, there would be no saving, there would be no criticism. It was simply somebody to witness me and being what was truly truth for me in that moment. And I did not realize the power of being allowed to be in that space until sisterhood.
Mm.
Thank you for inviting me, because the other part I believe in is everything when we talk about sisterhood, it's in partnership. We are here to support each other, and that is why I'm so grateful that we are here together. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for speaking up to that. And I would like you to start sharing about the 4 A's for self-love.
Thank you.
About
Yeah.
that, so then we can get started with the flow of this workshop.
Okay, so in my personal journey, everything has magically arrived in fours, groups of four. And I found that my first step in like trying to figure out who I was, I thought I knew, but there were so many false layers I had to remove. So first I had to become aware. I had to become aware that a lot of the masks I were wearing were not true for me. I had to allow myself to experiment, to step into places of discomfort, to uncover what was truth for me. I had to then acknowledge and accept, like, oh my goodness, as much as I don't like this side of me, it is who I am. And I lovingly accept that side of me. And then once I came through those 3 stages, it's like, okay, now that I know this about me, let me amplify me. Let me become all of me to the fullest extent possible. And in that moment, I hit the center core, my heart space that you talk about so much, my authenticity, my authentic self at the core.
Yes. Yes, yes. And it is a process. It is such a process to get that to that authentic self, to love ourselves deeply. And I really love this. Yeah, these 4 A's that it comes to that self-love within our hearts. And so what we're going to be talking today, from heartbreak to self-love, it's that very first part, the awareness piece. Because the thing is, if we don't have that awareness, then if it's in our conscious, we cannot shift, we cannot change, we cannot improve, we cannot grow, we cannot evolve, right? So bringing to that very piece of awareness, and I want to bring it specifically to this, then to the heartbreak, right? Because we're talking about that, and the thing is, heartbreaks, they can come in too many different ways. From losing a third one, for somebody passing away, from the breakup of a friendship, moving to a different country or city, or changing jobs, kids, you were on that are, I was like, kids.
You're reading my mind, because I literally just messaged, I have 4 children, and we have a family dog who's very elderly and in his last stages. And I've really been feeling a lot of emotion with that. My heart's cracking. And I said, I almost feel like it's losing one of my children, or they're moving out of the house, or, it's that tug on the heart.
Yes. Yeah. So it comes really here to that pain that we feel when someone that we love deeply, for some reason, our relationship with them changes in different forms or shapes, right? And the thing is, when those changes happen, we sometimes may feel shame or guilt, or then we start wondering, what if, it would happen, it would not happen. And that part of not accepting what is, of the situation that is happening due to that heartbreak, is what it really makes us suffer.
Oh my goodness, Kenna, you just like, I flash back to myself and how like I created my own pain. I resisted what was, and the what ifs. Oh my goodness, like talk about what if to death, right? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if?
Yeah, we can get lost. So that's the thing, because then we get lost in our thoughts. It's when, if we are not aware, then we go direct to the rabbit hole, and then we just continue, right?
Hey, I take offense with that phrase. Like,
hey, your rabbit with a double T. Yeah, so then when we wonder all those things because our relationship shape and change with someone and we have those heartbreaks, as you said, I mean, the pain is as is well said, is inevitable, but the suffering is optional. So if we don't bring that part of awareness of what is causing the pain, we just gonna keep living it and experience it and thinking about it over and over again. And that's exactly what causes our suffering, right? So what we have to do really about the awareness piece is to imagine like really that our mind is the sky and every thought that we have, it's a cloud. So it's really like, okay, observing the cloud passing by and not attach or get hooked to it, because it's when then the heartbreak can come to a suffering part if we cling to that thought, to that emotion that doesn't allow us really to move forward in life, right?
I think that is one of the greatest gifts I've given myself. And it has made other people uncomfortable, but for me, it's such a beautiful gift is when I'm feeling that sad emotion and I allow the tears to come and they move through me and the emotion just moves with the tears and I get to the other side of emptiness. And it's such a beautiful process, yet it's really challenging for people to be okay to allow themselves that space.
Yes. Yeah, because we were taught not to feel, unfortunately. But as you said, just allowing that process, it might take a few seconds or a few minutes, but after that, it's that emptiness or that peace that comes back to the body, instead, again, to going back to that suffering just by processing and living the emotion.
Okay, we're gonna go through the A's right now then, because I recognize you use the awareness and the allowance in that phrase. And then the third step was I acknowledge and I accept that I am feeling the sadness for the loss, but yet it doesn't mean that the memories or the pain have to go away or continue. It's more an appreciation. I accept what is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for what was.
Yes, and I think that's a very important part, to be grateful for that and have that appreciation, because I have read and hear a lot of women, mainly in Facebook groups saying, I don't want to feel that love anymore. It's so hurtful. Or I don't want to have these memories anymore. Instead of really appreciating that part, because it's part of you now, but then again, if we allow ourselves to that healing process of living our emotions, then it can become something very beautiful, something that we can accept. And the thing is, accepting is fucking painful. But once we do it, it's just really like going, like just moving forward, like a big, huge step. And from there, I think, yeah, we can just, because when we don't accept, it's really that resistance. So if we are like this, instead of allowing it and then flow, it just makes a whole difference in every level, body, mind, and soul. And more our bodies, that we can feel the contraction and the stress and the pain and all that. I mean, we know how the body works now. We're temple body artists.
I also recognize the word appreciation at another level. So not only appreciating what that issue or that moment is, but then also to appreciate, wow, appreciating myself because I allowed this, I accepted this. And that's like a point to celebrate yourself because this is you in the moment of shift, you in the moment of your change. And it's only possible because you made that step.
Yes. And you know what? Something that I want to add to that is that opportunity of loving someone, despite the fact that we may lose them one way or another. that emotion, that feeling,
Mm,
no one can take it away from us, even though at this moment we might be in a heartbreak, but the pleasure of loving someone,
mm,
it doesn't go away.
mm,
It doesn't go. So I don't know. I think it's a privilege to be able to love.
mm, mm, mm,
Mhm.
mm. Beautiful.
Mm.
Thank you. Really felt that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
As you noticed. Yeah, I think it's
Thank you for your authenticity.
yes. Yeah, and vulnerability. I'm just yeah, I just believe now that yeah, as you said, whatever it needs to get processed and a little tears or whatever, it's just about feeling it and just continue with the conversation and then laugh about it or whatever, right? It's
Yes.
that's part of our authenticity, just being ourselves and knowing that we are here, we are present, and that again, coming back to the sisterhood, is knowing that we belong, that we are safe, that we can be open and vulnerable without being judged, and many other perceptions that we may have or come through, and just feel allowing that love to come in and allowing that love to be felt from within, really.
If I may mirror back, what I see in you, sister, is not only, oops, didn't mean that. Um, not only is it for the heart and the self-love, but what I witnessed within you in just this short minute here of your sharing is the vibrancy of life. As you were giggling like a little schoolgirl in one moment, and then you were speaking passionately in another, and then your eyes were tearing in yet another. So to me, the whole purpose of this is to open yourself to the fullness of life, the full range of it, the vibrancy of it. And you just demonstrated that so beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for mirroring that. I really appreciate it. And
So
I
now if our I'm realizing a few things again, keeping in mind the people who might be watching the replay. So do you have some prompts or a process to help with them in this observation? You were just sharing your story and we talked about the A's, but I think there was some journaling you wanted them to do.
yeah. Yeah, it would be good if you ladies can actually take a piece of paper or your journal and a pen and just to question these things. I have a few questions. So one of them will be, why do you struggle with self-love? Probably before that, is like, what does self-love means to you first, right? Because I guess it can be one word, but the definition of each of us can be completely different. And one of the things that I noticed, I mean, I speak 3 languages, so sometimes it's like, I don't know, I don't get exactly the meaning of a word or something. It's really searching of what the meaning from different sources of that word can be, but then you really weaving all those and put them together to what you feel from within, what your soul is telling you that self-love is, according, of course, to your perception and your life story, because that's why the definition of each of us can be different. So I think it's
Oh,
important to consider different aspects of it.
that's such a big one for me. Words matter so much. And in our culture currently, there is so much assuming taking place when we communicate, using words without really consciously thinking about what we're trying to communicate, or the recipient assuming and interpreting what a word means from the person speaking. That one word could have multiple meanings, as you just pointed out. So if we're not really careful and conscious to clearly articulate what that word means for us, our communication gap could be there and we're not even aware of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so self-love is a big one for me because that was, as I shared with you earlier, that to me, I didn't ever want to talk about self-love. That wasn't part of my plan. That wasn't my journey. That was not my purpose. Self-love was just, yeah, like, okay, oh, I love myself. Oh, yay, 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 me. And it was just so trivial in my mind and non-important. There were bigger things I needed to work on at the time.
Yeah. But you know what? Following that, what you just mentioned, because I think the way we've been programmed and how society works and everything, we were taught to outsource love, right? So self-love is like, it's selfish. What do you mean loving yourself? You need to love everyone first. And what if you're a woman? Take care of your husband, your children, and then your siblings and your mom. And so we like, I mean, just thinking about it, it just gets into my nerves because it's just the programming is so deep that we don't consider loving ourselves, and that's what we put it at the end of the list. And the thing is, by putting it there, we are at the end of the list too, meaning then we become people pleasers. We, such a long list of other things that probably we can talk about in another episode or a workshop. But that's the thing, we are used to outsourcing love. So then it's done. Okay, now let's in-source love.
That's beautiful. That's very direct, very simple that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's another thing to say it, but then I know another phrase I kept saying is I kept waiting for my heart to catch up to my mind, because once I then identified it consciously, I was aware of it, but I couldn't yet feel it. So that was another transition point that you're reminding me of today. This is fun. You're taking me down a reflective journey here. And I appreciate you doing the journaling for the people. And one of the things I also recognized is before the journaling, the inviting people to share. That's something that I really think is critically important. And you and I both have experience with that, is rather than us being seen as the experts and giving out information, to your point, it's an inward job. So we hold the space and we invite people in. We invite you to think about, share what is true for you. And then that can be a collective processing then. But so right now with just you and me, we're kind of just giving the information.
Yeah. Well, what I can do is share some of my story of the heartbreaks.
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay. I'll try to summarize it. So basically what the stories that I'm gonna tell, it's something that happened to me within 26 months. So the beginning of all this, it was in September 9th, 2019, when my dear father transitioned. So that put my world upside down. One of my pillars was not there physically anymore. So as my heart shattered, every little fragment of that, it became a question, to question my life in every single sense. And I was already in a relationship, in a marriage for over 9 years and stuff, but I also start questioning that and my job and different things. So then in May 2020, a few months before, I started talking with my husband, and then we decided that it was better to separate. And because we were repeating a lot of patterns or programs and stuff, we were fixing them for a little bit, and then we will fall into the same spiral again. So I was like, okay, no, we're not going to waste another almost 10 years in here. So then we decided to separate. Not even 2 weeks after, we realized we were better off each other, apart. And even when we loved ourselves much that we actually thought that we knew, we knew was the best for us. So that was like a second heartbreak coming down there. Imagine the pillar and then my partner, right? And then a new job opportunity came. So I took it because my old job, I was not growing anymore. So I decided to leave. You know, so I was working in that, I work in that association for 7 years. So the friendships, the memories, knowing how to do the tasks and the whole thing, it was like, okay, put it aside again, like choosing myself. I need to keep growing. I want to do something different. So that was also another heartbreak. And then to kind of like finalize these 26 months, one of my best friends here in Montreal, we used to see each other very often. And then that summer, I didn't see him that much. And she was kind of having, I don't know, excuses or something. I was like, okay, seems like something is off, but I was like, I'm going to just give her space. And then the same week that I actually signed my divorce papers, I got an email from her because she was already out of the country, telling, like, literally breaking up with me, our relationship. It was a long email. So she said, in few words, she said that I changed a lot, that I became toxic to her. And when the reality is, I just changed too much in that period of time. I mean, my life was turned upside down. And I changed too much and shifted too much that I guess we didn't align anymore, right? So that time of those different four breakups, um, heartbreaks, it was just like, I don't know, it's just like too much grief and pain and sadness and frustration, and then all this questioning of what if, and the blame and the guilt, and I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't see my father again before leaving, all these things that is, again, if we are not aware enough, is just, I mean, we can fall into probably like depression or many other illnesses, like, because if we are not aware enough, we are not able to catch ourselves and then choose to do something different.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was quite a period of time.
Yes, thank you for sharing all of that, not only with me, but with the viewers also. Yeah, so my deep question is, so how did you pull yourself out? How did you catch yourself?
One of the things that I was already practicing, thanks to one of my coaches, to bring that awareness in, because it was just too many things happening at the same time that I needed to be like more present, or like that. So it's practicing really to be the observer, like literally thinking that you have a little me here, or I or somebody else, whatever it's better for you, but just thinking that someone here is actually observing you. So it's like, if you imagine, I'm going to say it's a little me, Kenna. It's a little Kenna here. So this little Kenna, it's looking at my dots. It's looking at my body here. It knows where my room is in here, that my screen is in front of me. And just by being that observer, not observing objectively, right? Not really like not judging, just observing, we can notice that, well, first of all, we're not our mind. Whatever I am thinking or whatever my mind can keep telling me, I am not that. Because if I can observe it, it means that I am not that. And the same comes with the body. Like if I feel, I don't know, let's say discomfort here or here, okay, I can feel that discomfort. I can observe it, I can feel it. So it means I am not my body either.
Oh, those are two such succinct, direct, relatable examples. Because you observe the mind, you are not the mind. Because you observe the body, you are not the body. I mean, that's like level 3 stuff, and we're only supposed to be on level 1.
I know, but I mean, just the flow of this is just so jammy that it's just we just jumping over.
Right. But this is exactly why the retreat is going to be such a magical opportunity, because it is guaranteed continued space and devotion to doing the work in safe sisterhood over a period of time, so that you can go through all the stages. You can go deep. You don't have to do like a little bit here and then go back to your normal routine. It's truly a gift to yourself to be able to do the work over a period of time like that. And I didn't mean to go to the retreat already, but it just seemed like a perfect connection to make.
Yeah, no, I do agree, because I mean, in the retreat, we're actually going to talk about this too. But the idea of then giving this workshop in advance is for you women who are listening to here to start getting that awareness in, because again, it's about practice. So if by the time you join us at the retreat, if you want to come, and if you feel the energy here and how we can create sisterhood, it will be that already having that awareness piece. So do you think, Rhonda, it would be nice then to share a bit of what we're gonna
Yeah, absolutely. It
Okay.
feels good. And to spin off of what you said about that awareness piece. So for me, what I'm thinking, again, reflecting back to my journey, it was the places of discomfort.
Yeah.
When I became uncomfortable with something, whether that was like my thoughts or my physical body, is I became curious. So I became then that Rhonda who's like, oh, I see something that's happening there. Oh, I see a thought that's happening there. Let's go examine what's happening around that. And that for me was one of my triggers for awareness, was my discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than feeding it, judging it, or like shaming myself, or eating something to satisfy, distract, whatever,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, hey, here's a moment. I'm uncomfortable. This means something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I mean, we are different human beings, so we experience life differently. So it's more like what is attuned to us, and then noticing, we're not a how's it called? Cookie cutter. So then noticing that we are different and see what fits us better. I think that's very important.
Okay, cool. Let's look at the retreat info.
Yes. Let's check it out here. Yay.
I
So
just really have to say, so the remember your essence, just right off the bat, that word essence to me, like I want to invite everybody just to close your eyes and drop into that word. Say it, my essence. My essence. To me, that truly is the most magical, beautiful, sparkling part of who you are at the core. It's your essence, what you were designed to be born on this earth for. And it's like snowflakes, each one magical in its own way, yet each one unique. So if you don't show up, the world will never have that experience, because it is unique to you and your essence. Mm.
Mm. Mm. So touchy. Thank you for those words. Mm. So yes, ladies, Rhonda and I will be co-facilitating this retreat in Mexico. Remember your essence, from November 17th to the 23rd in El Cuyo, Yucatan, Mexico. El Cuyo is a little fishing town, 2 hours and a half from Cancun. So the idea is, like, if you're flying to Cancun, and we're gonna provide transportation to the venue as well, coming back to the retreat, to the airport, sorry. So what to expect? Healing, that's the first part. And I guess you already have experienced how we need healing. Just by every heartbreak that we have, we need healing at different levels. And then sisterhood is so important. again, to be able to feel open, whole, seen, heard, supported, nurtured. And the idea is that it's gonna be women that are in similar journeys as you are. And what is the aim of it? It's self-love. It's really come back to the love that we are within, tuning in. And Rhonda and I were gonna be sharing, like, besides the tools in this workshop, so many other, like, variety of tools for you to take care of yourself to the core, so you can fill up your cup every day, and from there give from your abundance, give from your love, and then so you can actually enjoy life and live more at peace and bring that harmony and pleasure. pleasure to life.
Thank you. And I have to confess, that's another word that was a trigger word for me, was healing. I had some resistance to that word. So I looked at it like I was seeking who I was in my authentic core, but I wasn't healing myself. I was just becoming more of myself. And so it's just interesting, again, to come full circle to words, which do matter. But I wanted to share with anyone else who might be feeling, again, resistance to some of these terms. Get curious about your resistance, because again, that's a doorway into something greater for you. And when you talked about the healing, I go back to why this retreat in particular is magical for me. It's the environment that we are really seizing the environment in its natural place to become with us, because it offers so much to us that we often overlook. Tapping, as you did, back into our body, movement to raise our awareness, sound, using our voice or playing with sound, and journaling. I cannot undervalue journaling. I cannot tell you how many of these books that I have, and I think it's critically important to some shape, some form, put it down in paper, because it takes it out of the mind and it goes down. And then it's such a beautiful gift to go back and see where you've now landed after all of that. So all of this, what I see is connection with yourself, connection with the environment, connection with sisters. And so it's just a beautiful example of unity. Yes. And freedom. Through unity, we get freedom.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes. So what is our promise? It's really, we are committed to guiding you through a deeply transformative experience. This is really a place for transformation, so you can reconnect with yourself. You can know more about what's your worth, rebuilding your confidence, your self-esteem, and also we're gonna be having a workshop about your new vision, because with all these heartbreaks and life transitions, we need to get ready for our new vision and create goals and clarity based on that. And in sisterhood, you're gonna be restoring your freedom, your peace. You're gonna have self-love expansion, that's for sure, and feel empowered. Because an empowered lady, oh my God, you don't take any more shit, ladies. You live under your own terms. So that's the thing, is taking your power back. And Rhonda and I, we're gonna be offering support before the retreat and after the retreat for integration, which is very, very important. Like,
oh, that is another big learning. I do not think enough retreats really emphasize the work that you do there. You do not want to just jump back into the fray of your normal routine. You need to allow time for integration and transition, to be gentle with yourself. Yes.
And that's actually why the retreat is finishing on a Saturday, so they can get back on Saturday and at least take one day on Sunday for them to kind of settle in back home, because it's a big transition when you come in out of a container like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. So this is the house. The venue is called Casa Awakening. Casa meaning house. And so this is outside the house. We're going to be able to see the beautiful sunset. At here it is. And then the image on the top is from the house itself, from the front. So as you can see, all that sand, because the house, it is in front of the ocean. Ooh, so yummy. And these are some of the experiences that we're going to have. We're going to have a cacao ceremony as a welcome ceremony. We're going to have healthy meals, empowerment workshops, a lot of integration time, either if you want to integrate on your own, or if you want to, integrate with a group of the sisters that are going to be there. A lot of coaching and mentorship from Rhonda and myself. And the cool part in here is that, Rhonda and I, we met through Temple Body Arts, but she has a wide different kind of certifications and knowledge compared to mine. So we are really complementing and putting all this together. So believe me, like, this is gonna be like super, super juicy.
A good demonstration that we are in common yet diverse in our process.
Exactly. Agreed. Yes. So we have the beach in front of us, in front of the house, and then there's a cenote. We're gonna be going twice in there. Once is for the cacao ceremony, and then another day we're gonna be going there again and have a jungle experience of being in nature as well. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have women's circles like this one, in this case, Rhonda and I, but again, sisterhood, talking, being seen, heard, supported. Those are the ones that open us to be more of ourselves.
Okay, so I feel a need to express for anybody listening who's like, okay, but I don't want to talk. I don't want to connect with people. I just want to do my own thing. Because I know that is a constant theme in any works that I do, is the person who is afraid or apprehensive, has anxiety about speaking to a group, about being seen in a group. And so part of this focus on sisterhood is to break that pattern of the past, of that anxiety, that fear, the judgment, and to create new ways of being comfortable in your own skin and then comfortable in the circle of others as well. So no fear, we will not, put you into places that are traumatic for you. And it's all your choice of how deep you go or where you go.
Yes, thank you for adding that. And of course, you're going to take a self-care toolbox with you, because whatever we're going to be teaching you, then you're going to know it for life. So you can apply it everywhere and anywhere and at any time. And then
this is a life impact experience. This is not just go on vacation and then go back to your normal routine. This is one that's going to have impact on improving your lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's why it's a transformational journey, not for nothing. Yeah. And then we're gonna be closing just before on the last day with a luxury beach ceremony, dinner ceremony. So that's gonna be very, very beautiful. You can see here the image on the very top. So we're gonna have the setting by the beach. We're gonna have dinner over there. And then this big image, as you can see, it's just in front of the house. We're gonna have some of the workshops out there by the sun, under the palm trees, in front of the ocean. And on the left side, you can see the cenote. And yeah, we're gonna be jumping in that little wooden circle. So, oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
Playful, passionate, queendom. Oh, exotic, natural.
Yes.
What adjectives can you not use?
Yes. And every day we're gonna have a different theme, so we can dive in. Sorry about that. So the first day is about the welcome and the arrivals. We're gonna have a nice icebreak dinner. Then the second day is opening. open. We're gonna have the cacao ceremony by the cenote and being in the jungle. On day 3, the theme is release. We're gonna let go. We're gonna have a dance ritual and a fire ceremony with some marshmallows as well. And then on day 4, we have a worth. We're coming back to the cenote this day, and we're gonna have another jungle experience over there. Day 5 is about care. So we're gonna be sharing a lot of self-care practices. And then again, a toolbox. Anyway, you're gonna be compiling things putting things in that toolbox every day. And day 6 is about the self-love. So we're gonna do a lot of exercises about that. And as I just mentioned, we're gonna have the luxury beach dinner and closing ceremony that day. And the next day, we're just having breakfast and then departure because going back to the airport. And this is kind of like the general program. Of course, it might varies also depending of the needs of how the group interacts and what better suits it, but kind of like a self-care practice in the morning. Early in the morning, we have breakfast, then an empowerment session. We're gonna have a little break, then we're gonna have a workshop or women's circles, then we're gonna have lunch, and then in the afternoon, rest or integration time. We're gonna have a group activity and then dinner. So this is kind of like what the program is in general. And we have 3 different investment costs. As mentioned, it's a house, right? So it's very about being in sisterhood in kind of like a sleepover. So we have 10 spots available. And for the single beds and queen beds, these are shared spaces. For that one, we have 6 of them. And the early bird special starts at 3,333 Canadian dollars. So US is approximately 2,467. This is for the 6 days. And then the package number 2 is having a single queen bedroom. If you want to be on your own bed in your own bedroom, we have 2 options for this one. The prices is it's $37.77 in Canadian, and then in US is $27.97. And then the other option that we have is La Cabaña, which this room is actually on the top of the house, and it has the best view, ocean view. And this one has 2 queen beds, so it's a shared room, but with 2 queen beds. And yeah, so that the cost is $39.99 Canadian. So we have different ranges in prices. The early bird special is until August 24th, and then from there the investment costs, of course, they go higher. So this is what we have to share for now. I guess we extended more, but we're so excited about it. I mean, we've been planning this already for a couple of months, and it's just like so freaking excited. So if you're really ready to embark in a journey, of profound healing, empowerment, self-discovery, fun, sisterhood, pleasure, nature, and the list goes on, then come and join us. Come and join us.
Or if you're not ready, you're not feeling it, but you know that you are worthy and it's time, step forward and it will take care of itself for you.
Yes. Yeah, for that one, go and tune into your heart, because of course we're not the good fit for everyone. If you feel our energy, if you feel like that we have to offer, it is for you, come. If not, then I don't know, search for something else. Because again, this is not for everyone. This is gonna be a special place, and we want everyone who's there to be there fully and truly. So yeah, it's your call.
Thank you. I really appreciate that in closing, because it brings to mind 2 points for me, and then I can be done. One is that a mission to make the world a better place, bringing heaven here on earth. And so that's what I feel my role is to do whatever I can to contribute to that. So that's the first piece. The second one is, I love what you said about your heart, let your heart decide. And I can go back to my first discovery call that I made with Sophia Tom for Temple Body Artists. And within that 20-minute phone call, I just knew without a doubt, even though I didn't understand anything that was happening to me, I didn't understand why I was even on the discovery call in the first place. My heart knew that this was the journey for me. So for anybody who is not certain, I would invite you to definitely reach out so that you can have that call, so that you can feel for yourself if this is where you belong.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So Rhonda, you want to continue then our journey with another of the practices?
I would love to, but we are at the top of the hour. And so I would like to honor the time factor.
Okay.
But what I can do just a mini sample just to
Yes.
put it where possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I would invite everybody to stand up and get to adjust my camera here a little bit. So I want to, no, it's too much. I had it all set before we started, but then I moved around too much. Okay, so, what do you want, my feet or my head? How did I?
I'd rather see your face.
Okay, so the purpose for my work is to really have you connect to the internal parts of yourself. So standing, close your eyes, first of all, to not be distracted, to be focused on the inside. Lift the tops of your feet up and let them back down, just to make connection with your toes on the ground. I know my feet have been part of my transformative journey. Like, who knew the feet were so important? And mine had been so unloved and abused. Now I recognize their importance. Breathe in through your nose and out. Again. Just observing, do you feel the air moving through you? Do you notice how your body moves as you breathe? Let's do one more with the nose and then out on the mouth. In, out. And I invite you, this makes people uncomfortable, but make sound on the way out. Breathe in and out in any form. I believe sighing is how we're supposed to be, but it's been turned off by humanity. Okay, if you want to, bring your fingers up to your eyes, gently at the nose, put them there first, your middle finger, and then gently go under your eyes, pull out to the outside, to your temple, twist your fingers, push back. Oh, just let your hands go, shake your head, open your eyes, wiggle your body. So that was just to bring us to the presence of our body. Now I'd like you to put your left hand out in front of you. You can have your eyes open now to follow my instruction. Your right hand, fingertip, middle finger to the left fingertip. Glide that hand all the way gently up the inside of your arm. Oh, for me, I feel tickles. When it gets up to your shoulder, then put your arm down so you can go down the outside of your arm. What are you feeling, Kenna?
Oh, yes, ticklish.
Okay.
Oh, it feels so yummy.
Thank you for that. Keep going in that manner as I keep talking. So we have been programmed to be afraid of tickles. And I would argue, no, I don't argue. I would say my belief is that's because there is pleasure to be found there, but we're afraid of pleasure, so we resist it. But there is something quite magical once you allow it and tap into it. And when you get to the end of that finger, this time, raise that arm up to the sky. Again, taking the right middle finger to the left. And this time, when you come down the inside, try a different texture, press harder, or use your fingernails. Try a different way of touching that inner arm and see how it feels and impacts you. go right through your armpit.
Oh, I'm using my nails. I like
You're going really slow. Nice. Go
it.
through the armpit and keep your left arm up and go down your ribs, down your side, all the way to your lower hips, and let go. And then again, go down the back side. You can bring your left arm forward. Again, with a different pressure this time, or with your nails. Just becoming curious and observant. And when you get to the shoulder this time, sneak up your neck. Ooh, maybe do a couple fingertips on your neck, playing with your neck. Maybe your hair if it's there. Go around the back of your ear, up over your head, pulling that hair, down the other side, over the ear, around your jawline, and the front of your neck to here. So, before I speak, do you have any comments, my dear?
Oh, it was very, very yummy. And I want to comment that also, like, yeah, for me, the word pleasure was a resistance for me because I only related to sex and that taboo of sex in my home. So that's another story. So yeah, so for me, it was just like, no, what pleasure? No. And just doing this, it's just like, oh, so much pleasure just doing this. Simple things.
I am feeling a lot of emotion behind my eyes with your share. And I believe it's because of so much sexual wounding that we women bear. So much to our ignorance, to societal wounding, to ancestry. It goes so deep. We don't even realize it's there. So thank you for expressing a deep truth that I would also like to repair for the women there. And the reason I did what I did is it's kind of a combination for what I've learned with my erotic blueprint training, thus the pleasure. Thank you very much. It's also part of what I learned in my human garage lifestyle artist training, which is our body is made up 70% of water, and it's the fascia tissues that hold a lot of the trauma from past memories or ancestral DNA that we do not heal. We always think of our bodies as muscles and ligaments and bones, but in between, what's holding that all together, folks? It's the fascia. And people are only just now beginning to talk about that and recognize the importance of that. So that little movement to me encapsulated both of those pieces of healing.
Beautiful. Thank you for such a beautiful practice.
Right, and that was just like a little snippet. That was just like one arm. Imagine what we could do in a whole day together.
In a whole week. Yay! Beautiful. Okay.
So let's wrap this up. How do we want to wrap this up?
Yeah. How do we want to wrap this up? What do you
Questions? What if people have questions? What should they do? Should they post questions online somewhere? Because I do believe there is value of one person having a question and others being able to see the responses. Yet I also believe there's value in somebody having that personal conversation as well. Can they do both?
What can we do? What we can do is I'm gonna be sending the recording. So so to the people who sign up who were not able to come in live, So I'm gonna tell them if they have questions to get back to me, and also they can actually join the Self-Love Collective, the Facebook group that you are in as well, Rhonda. So if they have questions, I mean, it's a private group, so we can actually answer questions in there.
That's exactly what I was hoping, is that it could go in the video. Would the video go in that group as well, or no?
What I'm gonna do, we can do that. Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be great, because if the video's there, then they can post their questions right below it. And then the group can benefit from seeing the responses.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But okay. Yeah, I'm looking at thinking
Just-
about the logistics, but yeah, we can do that possible to put it in there in the group. Yeah. Sounds good. So people can ask questions right there directly. Yeah. Oh, okay.
1 hour on the dot. We got a late start.
Yes.
Right on time.
Right on time. So thank you so much for your presence, sister. I love you. I appreciate you. And I look forward to work on this live. Oh my God. It's just incredible. I'm so excited.
I'm equally grateful. And I'm so grateful for myself for finding love of myself so that I could be here and overflow into loving you as well.
Yes. Yes. From my self-love to your self-love. That's the way it is.
Yes. And to all the people joining us, hasta pronto.
Thank you, everyone.